So during some of the latest Nintendo Direct presentations, you might have seen a game that you didn't really know about. At least, I didn't know about it. Getsufumaden Undying Moon. The game had an awesome looking art style known as ukiyo-e, and fantastic looking hack and slash gameplay in a roguelite setting. And it's developed by a passionate indie team and published by Konami. Yes, that Konami. So Konami reached out and asked if I'd like to check out this game in a sponsored video, and I said hell yes, because honestly, I like what I saw from the game, so here we are. So what is Getsufumaden Undying Moon, and is it a game you'll want on your Nintendo Switch? Let's find out. The story of Getsufumaden Undying Moon isn't a super deep narrative or anything like that, but it does things enough to keep the game progressing. You play as the chosen leader and the guardian of the land of the living named Fuma. There's a cataclysm messing with the world of the living, and you have to go into various portions of hell in order to get rid of it and bring peace back to the land. The story is serviceable, but to me, it was never really the driving factor of the game, as I was more interested in the actual gameplay and of course the presentation. At first, Getsufumaden Undying Moon can be, well, pretty overwhelming until you start to realize that it's a roguelite game. If you know anything about roguelite games, it's basically a type of game where, you're gonna die a lot, you're not gonna get super far in your first playthrough of the game, but that's okay. And for the most part, Getsufumaden Undying Moon has that trope, but for some reason, I didn't get quite as frustrated with this game as I do a lot of other roguelites. I think the main thing it boils down to is how the gameplay is handled versus other games within the genre. It's a roguelite, yes, but it's really built on hack and slash mechanics. You have two main weapons that you can use, and you have two side weapons that you can use. The side weapons are usually projectile based, whereas the main weapons are melee based. Fuma can jump, double jump, and roll through when attacking enemies, and the combat is honestly extremely satisfying when taking down the various enemies within a level. Enemies will drop things as you defeat them, and once again, it can be a bit confusing as to what all these drops are, but it starts to make sense pretty quickly. Besides things like weapon drops, in order to get new and different weapons, enemies will drop gold and different elements. Some enemies will drop things that allow you to enhance your weapon at portals found within the level. Some drops are for permanent drops that you can upgrade for subsequent playthroughs of the game, and some drops are used for things that you upgrade on the fly. The on-the-fly ones I really liked because it really adds another layer of strategy to the game. The first one you pick up will be for your main weapon, the second one is for a sub-weapon, the third is for your overall health, and the fourth will give you an extra potion, as you only start with 2 potions and you can only hold 2 potions. Because of the way it works though, you have to choose when you want to use that upgrade, and it adds another extra layer of strategy to the game. Maybe you're low on health and you want to boost your overall health as you have some potions already. Well, what you want to do is you would want to acquire 3 of those upgrades and then do the upgrade, and not bother upgrading your weapon on the fly, as you're focused on your health. Like I said, it adds another layer of strategy to the game besides just the other specific boosts for overall, which I really liked. One thing I noticed about Getsufumaden Undying Moon is that in my first run through of the game, I didn't die nearly as fast as I usually do in other games within the genre. Now that's not to say the game isn't hard, because honestly it is, but you do have 2 difficulties you could choose from at the start of the game, and I actually just chose the standard difficulty over the easier one. I think it really boils down to the combat in the game and just how easy it is to sort of understand it. The combat kind of reminds me a bit of Muramasa on the Wii, because yeah, you won't run through the entire game in your first playthrough, but I did manage to get into the second boss battle in my first run, and honestly that made me kind of keep coming back for more. And while the original Getsufumaden on the Famicom was a game that was a straightforward adventure, the roguelite elements actually extended to the level layouts of the game as they randomized for each playthrough, along with enemy locations and the rifts you have to find and pass through in order to either level up your weapons or make your way to the boss battle. Of course, the first thing you're going to notice about Getsufumaden Undying Moon is the visual style of the game, and holy hell does it look gorgeous. Like I said, it's known as the ukiyo-e style, which is a Japanese art style used in the 17th through 19th centuries in Japan. Shoutouts to Wikipedia for that information. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the ukiyo-e style, don't worry. Think games like Okami, and that's pretty much the sort of visual style you'll get. And it looks absolutely stunning. Everything from the characters to the backgrounds has a beautiful hand-drawn feel to it with a deep watercolor palette, and it blends together just absolutely gorgeously. Each level you visit has a distinct main element to it, and I love looking at the backgrounds and all the things you can see and all the little details. It's actually really cool because every time you start a level and start to progress through it, you can see the boss of that level in the background, just sort of waiting and brooding, hoping for your ultimate demise before you go and face him. The frame rate stays consistent throughout the adventure as well, and honestly, I think the game looks superb in handheld mode on an OLED Nintendo Switch, which is how I played most of the game. It really makes the colors jump off the screen and helps with the immersion aspect. Boss battles are absolutely massive and hulking and have a lot of personality as well, almost feeling a bit like Cuphead in terms of the designs. The audio in the game is very well done as well, with some nice feudal Japanese style music and very crisp sound effects. So what are the downsides to the game? I think there's a few worth mentioning. First off, it's still definitely a roguelike game, so if you don't like dying a lot and redoing things, I don't think the game will do much in terms of changing your mind on the genre. The original Getsufumaden was not like this, so I could maybe see some longtime fans being a bit disappointed that they changed up the gameplay style. The game is pretty challenging and enemies can take you out pretty quickly, so you have to be light on your feet and paying attention at all times. The double jump works well in the game, but sometimes there were like a few areas that for some reason just seemed very tricky to access, even though eventually you'll realize you just have to double jump at the right time in order to get there. And while these are some minor things, I would say the main issue with the game is the fact that for me personally, I felt the permanent power-ups took a long time to level up and have access to. Of course, I'm sure that's by design, but for me personally, I would have liked to have seen some of the permanent power-ups a bit earlier in the game, as it can make it feel very grind-heavy in that aspect. But I guess that is an aspect of all roguelites at the end of the day. So when it comes to Getsufumaden Dying Moon on the Nintendo Switch, you have to really ask yourself 3 questions with this game. Do you like visually striking games from a smaller independent company being published by Konami? Then check out the link in the description box down below. Do you like roguelites? Then check out the link in the description box down below. Do you like a challenge? Then, spoiler alert, check out the link in the description box down below. Getsufumaden Dying Moon on the Nintendo Switch probably won't make you a roguelite fan if you don't like the genre, but I think the hack and slash gameplay and deep customizations do make it a bit more fun than other games in the genre that I've played, and the visual style of the game just has a very high quality feeling to it. You'll die, you'll get frustrated at times, but the overall package definitely kept me coming back for more and had me saying, alright, just one more run in order to try and get a bit further than my previous attempt, and I guess that's a sign that I'm enjoying the game. Now, Konami in 2022 might not be everyone's favorite developer, and I know you're watching this, Konami, so give me a new Silent Hill, give me a new Castlevania, and give me a new Metal Gear Solid with David Hayter ASAP. But I think Getsufumaden Dying Moon is a great addition to the Nintendo Switch library at the end of the day. Alrighty, so those are my thoughts on Getsufumaden Dying Moon for the Nintendo Switch. Definitely a game that sort of caught me by surprise. You know, I was initially impressed with the visual style. When I heard it was a roguelite, I was kind of like, I'm not the biggest fan, but I think there's enough stuff here to make you keep wanting to come back for more. The gameplay hook is absolutely fantastic. I love the hack and slash elements. The visual style of the game is literally breathtaking. Just a really solid overall package. So like I said during the video itself, if you guys are interested in checking out this game, which is currently available on the Nintendo Switch's eShop, be sure to check out the link in the description box down below to get some more information on the game. There are 2 different versions. You can get the standard version and there's a deluxe version that comes with some extra goodies, including the original Getsufumaden for the Famicom available on the Nintendo Switch. And a huge thank you to Konami for sponsoring this video. I know we kind of have a rocky relationship, but it's out of love. Like Castlevania, Silent Hill, Metal Gear Solid. Look, you need an advisor. You need to know what the streets want in a new version of these games. I'm your guy. Hire me. I'll work for cheap. I just want to see these games made. But shout outs to Konami for sponsoring, and shout outs to you guys for watching this video. Let me know what you think of this game in the comment section down below. Definitely a game I recommend checking out. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like and share the video. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.